Hello fellow doctors, welcome back to Jabstudiesmetfun. I'm Dr. Aishwarya Mokal and this is the part 2 for community medicine or PSM, previous year important images. So let's start with the first topic. This is a very monotonous topic but very important, very much fruitful because these are some marks that you cannot lose in the exam. That is, once you know the logos of these organizations, since the topic is important international organizations and their logos, it's just very easy. The most of the clues are in the logos themselves. You just have to sometimes remember the headquarters or sometimes remember some general information about these organizations just to keep yourselves informed. And if these questions do come in the exam, these are really marks that you cannot lose, which can make all the difference when you're giving your Fmge. So let us start with our topic. The first organization, of course, that we will encounter is the World Health Organization, also known as WHO. The headquarters for WHO is in Geneva. The United Nations agency working to promote health, keep the world safe, and serve the vulnerable. So WHO is basically a sub-organization or the branch of United Nations that works for the health of the whole world, and it keeps the world safe and serves the vulnerable. Most of these organizations are branches of the United Nations. You'll just know from the logo itself or from the names. The next one is UNDP, that is United Nations Development Program. It gave the Sustainable Development Goals. It works to eliminate poverty and reduce inequalities by sustainable development strategies. So the slogan is Empowered Lives, Resilient Nations. The next one is United Nations itself. The headquarters is in New York. It is an organization for international diplomatic and political organization. Its stated purposes are to maintain international peace and security, develop friendly relations among nations, achieve international cooperation, and serve as a center for harmonizing the actions of nations. It is the world's largest international organization. The next one is World Bank. The headquarters is in Washington. It is an international financial institution. It provides loans and grants to governments of low and middle income countries for the purpose of pursuing capital projects. The next one is UNFPA, that is the United Nations Populations Fund. Its headquarters is in New York. It is a UN agency aimed at improving reproductive and maternal health worldwide. UNICEF, you might have heard this one, very famous. United Nations Children's Fund. So they work for the welfare of children, to save children's lives, to defend their rights, and to help them fulfill their potential from early childhood through adolescence. Again, the headquarters is in New York. UNAIDS, that is the Joint United Nations Program on HIV or AIDS. The headquarters is in Geneva. The main advocate for accelerated, comprehensive and coordinated global action on the HIV or AIDS pandemic. The FAO, Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, whose headquarters is in Rome. The FAO's goal is to ensure that everyone has access to enough high quality food to lead healthy lives and to achieve food security for all. The ICRC, that is International Committee of the Red Cross. The headquarters is in Geneva. It is a humanitarian organization, a neutral, independent organization ensuring humanitarian protection and assistance for people affected by armed conflict and other violence. The last one is ILO, that is International Labour Organization of the UN. Its objective is to advance social and economic justice by setting international labor standards. Its headquarters again is in Geneva. So that's it. Please remember the different kinds of logos for this. Most of the times the name of the organization will be in the logo, but in the exam they might rub it out or they might clear it out. The next topic is vectors. The vectors are basically the animal vectors which carry diseases. The first animal vector that we will look at is the female Anopheles mosquito and its larva. It is a vector for malaria. It has black spots on the wings, and it makes a 45-degree angle with the surface, as shown here. It makes a 45-degree angle with the surface, and the larva will be parallel to the water surface. So we can remember it this way, that the Anopheles larva will be parallel, but when it becomes a mosquito, it lifts itself up by 45 degrees. The next one is Aedes aegypti mosquito and larva. It is a vector for dengue, yellow fever, Zika virus, and chikungunya. It has white spots, aka tiger mosquito. The larva is suspended from the water surface, like this. The next one is Culex mosquito and larva. In Culex mosquito, it is a vector for Japanese encephalitis, lymphatic filariasis, and West Nile fever. It is important to understand, and it is important to just remember, even if you have to just mug up these different diseases, it's important to remember what vector causes what diseases. It is a hunchback appearance, like this. And the larva is also suspended at a right angle from the water surface. The next one is Mansonia mosquito and its larva. It is a vector for Brugian filariasis. It has sparkling on legs and wings. You can see that the whole mosquito is black, but it has these stripes like sparkling on its legs and wings. The larvae are present along the rootlets of aquatic plants. The next vector we have here is sandfly, recently asked in the Fmge exam. It is a vector for leishmaniasis. It was a straight question, like what is this vector for? The vector for leishmaniasis. Next one is heart tick. Vector for Indian tick typhus, babesiosis, tick encephalitis, tick hemorrhagic fever, and tularemia. Next is rat flea. It is a vector for bubonic plague, endemic typhus, and shigerosis. Soft tick is a vector for Q fever and relapsing fever. The last topic for this video are the devices to measure air humidity. So one of these was asked in the recent Fmge, that is a sling psychrometer. So what happens in sling psychrometer is there are two thermometers, 1 and 2. So one thermometer is covered with a wick. This one is covered with a wick saturated with ambient temperature liquid water. And what they do is there is a stick right here. So just for your general knowledge, just remember this, that they will rotate this psychrometer, and after a while they will stop rotating it, and they will check the temperature in the both the thermometers. And there is a particular formula to calculate between these two temperatures. You can use it to calculate the humidity of the room. So it is a very complicated process. The next one, however, is very simple. It is a hygrometer. It can measure humidity level in soil, air, or other confined spaces, and it reports humidity levels as percentage. Directly as percentage, it will give you the humidity level. You don't need to move the thermometer, or you don't need a particular formula for calculating or knowing the humidity of anything, soil, air, or any other confined space. The next one is dry and wet bulb hygrometer. It is used to calculate relative humidity of air. So one will be a dry bulb, and another hygrometer will be a wet bulb. That is, it will be enclosed again in ambient temperature liquid water. Next one is Asman psychrometer. This is another PYQ. It is used to measure relative humidity and dew point temperature. So you need to remember the particular image, the name, and what kind of humidity measurement is done by each of these devices. Which one calculates relative humidity, which one calculates the dew point temperature, which one needs a formula, which one directly reports the humidity levels as a percentage. All of this is important. These small points are the ones that are asked in the exam. So that's it for today's video. Please follow our Fmge mantra. Please keep practicing. Please keep revising. Thank you.